So good morning, everybody. I'm really excited about us working on our objectives and um, I'm sure, Roy, I'm assuming you're gonna take over that part, when we get there, kind of lead us and all that. So I am thankful. So I just woke up this morning, guys, and it was just praise. And so I'm just going to just kind of start with Lord God, I want to praise you this morning just for who you are to us. It's not just what you do for us, but I'm thanking you for who you are to us. I thank you for every time we find ourselves. I just was thinking about all the things that God has done for me, for us over the years. And I thank you that every time we find ourselves in situations where the answers aren't clear or the way out is not clear, you always show up. And your faithfulness, Lord God, you're just faithful time and time again. When the doctors say, I heard the doctor say that something I was dealing with was not curable, but then, and it's a minor thing, but then you show up. And then beyond what medicine is doing, you're causing my body to recover. And I thank you, Lord God, because that's kind of what you do. That when a bank account may say not enough, Lord God, you are a provider, and somehow it always is enough. I just praise you, Lord God, that even when we find ourselves sometimes in a corner and we don't know which way to go, you show up and the way forward becomes very clear and very doable. You demonstrate over and over and over the value of knowing you, the value of depending on you, and knowing that absolutely you are faithful. And so I thank you, Lord God, for everything that you are to us, everything you've carried us through. One of the advantages of being in our 60s and 70s is that if we tried to write a book out of all the things you've done for us over the years, it would take us years to share with someone your hand and how your hand has been on our life continuously. And so we thank you for it, Lord God. We thank you for what you're doing with our family fund. It was really good to see the amount of money as our account grows. And I thank you that you're co-laboring with us so that so that we know that what we do will be successful because we're doing it with you and we're doing it through you, and we're counting on your wisdom and your guidance to help us every step of the way. And because your supernatural will always touch our natural, we're going to find that we're doing even beyond what we can imagine. Because I know you're just going to show up in ways that's just going to be, oh wow, we know that's God, right, guys? And I just know we're going to feel your hand and see your hand in everything that we do. So bless our meeting today, protect the vision of what we're attempting to do. We want everything that we do to please you. And at the end of every meeting, at the end of every year, at the end of our lives, Lord God, when we're 120 or so, that you'll be able to say, well done. And we want to hear that well done from you. So bless our time together. We thank you in advance for it. My heart is just full of praise and thank you, and for you, and just having your presence in our life every day. So bless our time. I know you will, and I thank you for it in advance. In the name of Jesus Christ, we pray.
Amen.
Amen. So you guys saw the agenda. I'm going to share my screen and just kind of review the agenda real quick. And make this big so it covers everything else. Hello, E.
Hey.
I had to have the Geek Squad.
You fast enough.
I know I had the Geek Squad work on my computer
I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about Eve. You seen him walk across the background.
Oh. Oh, no, please don't let this be the issue.
That Geeks working on your computer, huh?
Yeah, because I had things that weren't functional and my icon disappeared and they
Mm.
worked on it for about 2 days. So now I'm trying to see the bottom of my screen.
And your husband photobombing you in the back.
Yep, I
That,
see.
that better be E.
Oh.
That's like, uh-oh, where are you? Okay, hopefully this works.
Donna, is
Uh-huh.
there a way that you cannot make this take up the whole screen? Because I'm not able to see any of my, so that I can pull up screens as we go, because I wasn't able to print. And this takes up the whole screen, so I can't even see my screen. If not, then, I mean, in the past, you only had it on half the screen.
Okay, I just put it on share. I don't,
All
let me
right.
let me try something. When I come out of this one, I'm gonna try one thing and see if that works on the next screen. I'll try it. Because the first thing we're gonna do is look at the finances. So I'll try it, Valerie, and see. I think I know how to do it where it doesn't take up the whole screen.
Well,
So,
as long as it shows, that's fine, then, Donna.
Sorry about my limited knowledge of.
Oh, girl, no.
So here's the agenda, it's simple. We're gonna review the January notes. I don't know if you guys had saw it and if there was anything that I needed to change, if there's any corrections, you can let me know. Then Valerie will do her financial report. And then we're gonna focus on objectives and strategies. So that's really the whole meat of what we're gonna do, unless there's anything else you guys think of. That's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much it.
Kind of changed it from what I had, but that's just saying, I guess.
Okay.
I can't pull. Get closer, Dale.
I say she changed the agenda from the one that I had printed out.
Oh, is it? Okay. I think the one I printed out had review of December meeting dates. It had the wrong date on there. I sent a wrong one. So sorry about that. So, was there any, I'm coming out of this stop share. I'm gonna try to see if I can share and just share half my screen, Valerie. Was there any corrections in the minutes? Were the minutes okay? Yes, okay. You see if I can do it this way.
We just do it like you were doing, Donna. That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay, but tell me if this is any different. Is this different? Is this better? It's still the whole screen?
Yep, that's all right. Yep, it's still the whole screen.
That's fine. I can still see your faces.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the bank statement, Valerie. I don't know if there's anything to say with it, but this is the actual bank statement.
Yeah, I need the balance sheet.
Okay. It was good to see that we're almost $900 in our account. It was good to see that the balance in our account, and that we've earned $2.15 in interest. So you need to show, here's the balance sheet, Valerie. Can you see it?
I guess my question is, I just need to know if people have any questions, because is the same balance sheet that was for last month. If we had any questions as to what we see on the sheet.
Um, I think I just sent some money to you, Valerie. I think it was yesterday. Not enough time to put it in the report.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's going to be on February. This is what everybody contributed in January.
Okie dokie.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
So that's basically it, that we've got $896 so far at the end of January, which is good.
And $5.64, if I'm seeing it right, on the for the total amount of interest
Mhm.
as we've opened the account.
Okay.
And the last column is what we all owe for 2023.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then the each row tells you what we gave in 2022, how much we've given so far in 2022-23.
Mhm. Okay. That's good. So I'm gonna stop share here. Um, you guys did see the summary. Oh, I had a comment on the summary before I turn it over to you, Roy. You guys saw the summary, right, of the mission. Was that what you wanted?
I just have one comment before we go on. And
Okay.
I know each month I keep getting asked if I've looked into the bank account to see all the different ways that people can join, like Zelle and whatever. And I didn't do it last month, and I'm wondering if I need to do that before we have any new members. Is there something that is pressing that folks feel that pressing that I need to do immediately, or can it wait until we actually have people who are going to say they want to join?
Were you talking about a different way to contribute money?
The
Yeah,
instruction, yeah,
different ways they can contribute.
the instructions, right, about how to add money to Capital One.
Oh, you mean other than if they don't have Zelle or something, another way to do it? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure because um I guess I'm not exactly sure about what you're asking other than Zelle. Are you asking me to look up different ways that people can do it financially,
The suggestions,
or
if I could,
just, or just how to do it with Zelle?
Well, I guess instructions on how to use Zelle, since that's what we're using right now. If someone comes in and wants to join and say, I don't have access to Zelle, then I guess to find out what avenues they have and how we could accommodate that. So I guess that would be something, in my opinion, that you address as needed, but maybe put out what is current. Just have a
Okay.
statement of what is current of how we're doing it now. So somebody joins, this is how we're contributing to the account, and see if they can buy into that. If they can't, maybe research other ways.
So right now, all I need to do is put instructions as to how to do Zelle.
Yeah, I mean, just have it ready. I don't know if you need to publicize it or anything. So everybody on there right now know how to do it. So if somebody wants to join, at least have a document that you can say, boom, here you go, and you don't have to look for it or find it or any of those kind of things.
Okay. All right. Well, that's easy to do then if I don't have to try to investigate other routes of how to give money. So I understood it differently. So good. All right. Okay, that's all.
good. Then there was one comment, I'm gonna share the document that was the putting all the things together. What is this? Okay, good. Remember, this is on the family summary document. where we had the mission statement and the vision statement, and hopefully that's what you guys wanted, right? When we finish everything, then we'll probably pull this together so that it looks, more polished. But there was one thing that we talked about a lot in terms of family. I highlighted it. Remember that this was one of the things that we decided on and voted on. That the fund would only be passed down to bloodline relatives, including adopted children, such as Lauren and Maddie. So,
And Roy's two girls.
yeah, and that's the reason I'm saying that we might need to reword this differently. This was one of those things that we voted on as a family, so what I did was I included the things that we had already discussed and everything that we had already decided. And I'm glad we didn't put it in our mission statement and our vision statement and all of that, so it's not limited. And so, so I don't know if we just wanted to tweak this where it says including adopted children or children through marriage, or I don't know what you guys thought about that, if that's something we can need to address now or address later. But
The mission statement, you're trying to say add this to the mission statement?
these were, remember, we went through this master list of things and we voted on these different things and then stopped because we said that we didn't want to. There were some things that we could, how do people join? Back, remember we went through all that, the first few sessions, meetings where us, members have to wait 2 years before they become a voting member. Remember, we went through these comments and we voted on each of these. We can either leave it, come back to it.
I'm not feeling very well today also. I'm not sure what you're asking.
I just wanted to highlight that when we went through this, we had a lot of discussion about bloodline relatives, and children.
What does it mean, the funds passed down? Does that mean that when it's over or there's money and you wanted I mean, I don't understand what that really means yet.
Yeah, I don't either.
So if we're no longer here, when we're no longer here, who gets access to be able to run the fund? Who gets the money and they were able to control the finances? And we said not in-laws necessarily, or married couples, because we wanted to keep it in the bloodline. But we said, but children, even, they're still could be, because they were adopted, they're still considered bloodline. I'm not sure
Is that something that we can incorporate when we start looking about the structure of the corporation?
We can't. I'm saying that we might want to just come back to this later.
There was discussion in our last meeting about what is bloodline, and we really didn't have a definition of what we were going to consider bloodline. So I think that was one of the reasons why it got taken out of the mission or the vision statement, as far as the bloodline. I think it's something that really needs to be looked into. It might need to be changed at a later date, to add a little, exception to it or whatever. Maybe something as simple as passed down to bloodline relatives or those as determined by the voting members or whatever. I mean, so it could be something simple or something add online or whatever, to that. I think the whole thing, I think when we was talking about bloodline relatives is that we wanted it to stay in the family. We didn't want for there to be an outside source that could come in and take over the fund, and now it's not a family fund, it's something else. So I mean, but the whole point of this is when we're established and building it, is to make sure that we've got continuity, so that it's important that we bring in our children, be it adopted or be it whatever, bring them in, the nieces, the nephews, to bring them into this so that there's always a connection, going down through the years, if we're the end of the line and there's no family members or whoever, that joins in, then where's the fund gonna go? So we just need to establish continuity, and that's one of the important things that we need to start looking at, especially after our foundational years. You know, so I don't know the objectives. I think that we're going to work on next or whatever. Probably could lead in some of those directions as to how do we create continuity, for community here.
Okay.
So here's what I'm thinking. There's we're like a family tree. Okay.
Mm.
The family tree has a lot of branches.
Mhm.
So let's say, for example, even though Dale's on the phone or I'm on the phone, it's still Cindy is still a part of Dale's family.
Mhm.
Just Leia's a part of my family. Okay, I got a couple kids. So let's say I'm talking about in the future, and we don't have to answer this right now, but just something to put in your head. Let's say that we're gone, but the family unit, whoever is involved actively as members of this, want to keep it going, and they're all still part of the family, but they still want to keep it going. How do they keep it? They could keep it going when we're done. So my kids may not be, natural, daughters, but they're my family. Some could happen to Dale. Yeah, maybe he adopts, who knows, with his old ass self. But, it's about the family tree and the people who are involved in that this plan when we're done. It may be decided that it's done, or it may be decided that they want to keep it going. How do they keep it going? The people who actively want to be involved. Like my kids may not want to be involved. Maybe some of the youngsters we are looking at, they may not want to be involved. I don't know. I just don't. So when it says passed down, I don't know how to answer that right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
To deal with that.
Okay.
Because if you think about legacy, this is a legacy to the people who are part of our family,
Right.
whether they're direct or adopted or whatever. So if it gets to a point where no one wants to participate, then there's a money that's there. How is that? Let's say I pass away and Leia wants to be involved in the continuing part. You know what I mean? I just don't know how that would work. Maybe she won't. I don't, but the key here is that the money is to be used as a family fund, a legacy fund. It's not used as I want my share fund. Unless in the end it dissolves. And then if it dissolves, where's the money go? How's that divided? Those things, I don't know how to answer that yet.
We probably need a lawyer to help us with that.
So the first mission of the group is to actually establish a legacy fund, right? I'm not looking at the mission or whatever, but it's about providing. It's in our mission. To provide a fund that's there for emergencies, blah, 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 blah. That's the first phase. Then we got to figure out then how do you keep it going? Once we're done, are the people going to be committed to keep it going? And then the mission and the vision doesn't go away. The people who are involved in it have to buy into it. So if you got $1 million in the fund eventually, what happens when no one is there to keep this going?
Yeah.
That's future, but I just
Yeah.
we can't just say ourselves because we don't have too many children that we can really pass this along to keep it going. It's got to be, if people see the value at it and the
Mhm,
benefit of it, and they want to be involved, they want to contribute to it, and they see that value,
mhm,
then it can continue.
mhm.
Anyway, some deep thoughts to think about, but we can't deal with this.
Mhm.
Okay, so I just wanted to just highlight that because we quote unquote voted, but all of this we'll probably have to review anyway.
Yeah, keep it on there in red. It's something that we need to talk about, but it's
Mhm,
I think it's in phases.
mhm. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't think people care about $1,000 in the bank. it's 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 when you start really getting significant monies in there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Um,
Okay,
anyway,
so I just wanted to highlight that, and
good.
so,
That's
uh,
good.
so I'm gonna stop share here, and then the next thing, Roy, is to deal with objectives. So again, what I did was I pulled together, as you guys saw. I don't think I had yours, Roy.
No,
Did
I
you?
think I had a few that was in there when the email was first sent out, but
Yeah,
it was basic. Don't worry about it. I mean, because we don't. What I see is in it right now has been expanded. So let's just deal with what we have
okay,
and talk it out.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
All right.
So I'll share that, and then you kind of can
Yeah.
can take us from there.
So what I saw when I first read this, and the samples that I provided, through that whole SMART example for objectives,
Mhm,
it was to establish some quantifiable goals. When you're doing objectives, remember what it basically said: be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time based, right? And so if I looked at that as a guide, and I even gave maybe 3 different examples, broad, not as specific. I looked at the feedback that everyone has, and what I like what was put down in here was I saw objectives and I saw strategies. That was kind of cool. It was like people putting their thoughts down. I seen the ones that were objective oriented, and then the other ones that can be almost filled in to be a part of the strategy. I mean, it's very, very close in my mind. Okay. So if I, and this is me, there's no favoritism here, but when I saw,
Oh,
once again, I think Valerie got the sense of what it should be set up, how it should be set up initially. She's like in my mind. And I think the way
no.
she put this together as the objectives, and then when I read the other things from everyone else, how they could flow into like strategies, it was like perfect. I mean, I take a lot of this and it'd be part of our plan. So for example, we look at Valerie's as a guide, and remember, these are 2023. These
mhm,
things adjust in the following year, and then the following year, etc. So the first one, increase membership from 4 to 6. I mean, that's a quantifiable goal. That's something that we talked about, right?
mhm,
Okay, that's an objective. A strategy to that would be how to do it. Okay, and then how to do it, I think, was captured in maybe some of the things that Donna may have had in hers somewhere. Encourage all siblings, join the fund, and she had then underneath her bullet points, develop a strategy. We should have one sibling person. I mean, there's some strategies behind that increased membership from 4 to 6. Do you understand? I don't, before I go on, you see how that works? So if I have a quantifiable goal by the end of the year, how do I get there? And then that's when I looked at some of the things that you had, Donna, as a part of the strategy to get to that objective. You got me?
Mhm.
And then, so, okay, that's one. Then two, it went from the quantifiable number of grow family funds, a minimum of $6,000 by the end of the year. That's a goal. That's something that we could be achieving. Okay, and then Valerie added a couple of points by increasing or by adding new. Those are strategies. You see what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
then so almost every one of the points you can put sub points underneath as a strategy.
Mhm.
You see how that flows?
Mhm.
So the next one was you see develop a family fund structure, and then develop bylaws.
Mhm.
Those could be, what do you think, guys? I mean, you think that those could be objectives and still have strategies underneath?
Mhm.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So if I develop family fund structure, well, we got the fund, but now we're talking about structure, which is going a little bit more into the details that Donna wanted to flesh out more. Then we would have a strategy in order to have that done.
Mhm.
Is that making sense?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And develop bylaws. We are developing bylaws right now, right?
Mhm.
So
What are bylaws? I mean, I put that, but I'm not exactly sure what.
well, the bylaws are actually some of the things that Donna was trying to review at the, before. You know how we had that email that she had that had a lot of the things that bylaws are like, how do you, the membership, how do you expand with the membership? What's their voting rights? Those are bylaws that become a part of how you function.
Okay.
So we're already started that process by just talking this out and Donna putting them in notes. So we can capture a lot of those things that we approved, and those are like our bylaws as a starting point.
Okay.
And it's up to, we vote in what stays or what goes or what adds to the bylaws. They're basically rules of the road. Okay, so that's what that is if we keep it in there as an objective.
Mhm.
I like Donna and Dale maybe to share if there's any of their points that they would add as the objectives to what you see. Let's see.
Yeah, go down. I don't have.
Okay, I think the objectives were similar to what Valerie had, just worded differently. So to research and create a family structure, fund structure. So it's the same. What you see here, just like you said, Roy, are strategies on how do you create a family structure. We got to research it. We got to, so these are their strategies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the same thing here in terms of growing, encourage, those are strategies, encourage all siblings to join. Well, I saw, for me, it was like, it'd be nice if all 5 of us were, all 5 of the siblings, were members. But what Valerie did was made it so that we're not limited to that. It can be 2 people, it can be nieces, nephews, and if Kathy decides that she doesn't want to join yet. So hers is probably better because it's more general as opposed to 2 nieces, all siblings. And so I can see some of these things these are just brainstorming strategies on how would we encourage them to be a part of the, and then the bylaws, I had the same thing. Develop a master list, look at the master list to see if any of those could be bylaws.
Mhm.
then
Correct.
hire a lawyer. So those were, or have a lawyer, so those are strategies toward the objectives.
Mhm.
Create an idea. So it's hers, she's, Valerie's, and, we would increase our fund. So there was just a different amount. She said that we can increase our fund to 6,000, by including, and I said, well, maybe make it a little bit more challenging by increasing the fund by $1,000. But we'd have to invest, we'd have to really brainstorm how to do that. So it's not just us pulling out more money. There might be other ways to do that. So this was, making a decision on what our fund wanted, how much we wanted in our fund by December,
Right.
and then brainstorming on how we got there. That was my thinking there. Where Valerie said $17, I was thinking a little broader.
Mhm.
And then the website, is that could be included. I don't know if people even like the idea of a website, but the website can be how we recruit new members. Because we could put stuff in a place where they wanted to research what we did, they want to see videos of our training. If we can put stuff, we can make a decision of what we can put on a family fun website that people could check out. That's a possible strategy. People may say not the first year. We might be premature with that. But I can see whether instead of that just being a objective by itself, that could be an objective or a strategy to encourage or keep family members aware of what we're doing. So those are my thoughts.
Okay.
So yeah, I can see a lot of this is strategies.
Well,
Okay, and then you said Dale's. What I did was I pulled some of what you said last meeting, Dale, and I'm not sure if you saw. I said, well, maybe these could also be strategies and or objectives. So I just included them. I hope it was okay. I did that, Dale.
Yeah, that's fine.
oh, okay. I thought Dale sent these.
No, I got these from the notes when we were talking about our mission statement last time, when we were working on our this came right from what he submitted from the last meeting.
Good. So the only things that I had on mine, which was on the original one, was to
You want me to add it? You want me to add it? Roy?
No, you don't have to. But it was because it's one was increased revenue growth to 6,000, similar to what's already in Valerie's by year end 2023. Then I said maintain or increase annual profits. Well, that's like that was a goal. Of course, our annual profit, especially during the first year, really to us means that we're not spending anything. We're just accumulating money, no expense. And then the other one was gain a minimum of two new members for continued growth. So see that those three, even though they were samples, are a part of you're already a part of some of the objectives there.
Okay.
You see, so.
Just how broad should your objectives be in your first official year?
Pardon me?
How broad should your objectives be in your first official year?
Doesn't need to be broad. It just needs to be a statement, and then the strategies are the ones that kind of feed into that.
Okay.
So this objectives by itself, then you look at, okay, so and you agree on those objectives, then you fit how do you, the strategies behind each one of them, how do you get to that point? So I would like the objectives, the first one I would put as I would make the first one the financial not to say, nothing's less important, but just as a statement, our goal, the growth, to growth family fund 6,000 by year end. I would make that the first. And then I would probably do the increased membership.
And how we do that, you're saying?
No,
Yeah.
the objective meaning first is that we will increase membership by
No,
2.
the
No,
objective to the first one, if I was looking at this as a blunt, someone looking at it first,
okay,
I would just make it be, we're trying to grow the fund. That's the first way.
mm-hmm,
It's also important to grow the fund is either
how would you word that, Roy? Because I was wondering if this is how you want it worded, but you would word it differently. How would you word it?
It's fine. I mean, this is this a revenue? Or
Oh,
Or you mean with with interest? You mean just a contribution?
yeah, grow family fund to a minimum of. I'm not being word picky on this one myself. I need your help on this one if you think it should be tweaked differently.
mm.
But
Should it be contributions or should it be growth
no,
total?
I think the growing the family, well, here.
Because if we all gave just as an example, if we all gave an extra $17 to make it 6,000, that wouldn't include the interest.
Correct.
That's why I said minimum of 6,000 because it would be more than that once you put the little bit of interest we get it in there. So we could put contribution, growth family fund contribution.
Well, when I see family fund to a minimum, that means when you look at objective, that means by December 31st, when we look at our bank account, we want to see $6,000 in our bank account.
A minimum, which
Yes.
means it could be higher.
Yes.
Minimum.
Mhm.
Right. So I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm looking at it and
What do you think?
I'm thinking it should be a growth challenge. What's the guaranteed amount if we all do what we committed to? Then what's the difference in between that and this amount? That would be our growth challenge. You know,
Mm.
you know,
Okay.
we're committing to the $1,300, $1,400, but $1,400, $1,378. We're committing to that. That part should be guaranteed if we all stay true to what we're supposed to do.
So the 1378 times 4 is 5,500.
So our growth challenge is $500.
Yeah, so 5,512.
Okay.
So that's below this $6,000.
But
Which-
we're including since it was only October to December, we're also including the those months also that 105, which takes the total to 1,483, not 1,378. Which means that $17 would make each of us get to 1,500. So I was including the whole amount, not the just the 2023 amount.
Okay,
Right.
okay,
Hmm.
okay, so you're saying the 105 that we all paid at the end of the year?
It's added to the total because, since it was just the 3 months. So that's why the total amount that's owed is 1,480 I wish I had the sheet in front of me, but I think it's 1483 and not 1378. If you're looking at your sheet, that's how much we owe for 2013. That's what I'm subtracting from.
So that means, okay, sorry. So $17, all we would need, which is not a huge stretch, but $17. If each of us gave 17 more dollars, then the fund would be 6,000 at the end of the
Mhm.
year. Okay,
Mhm.
Mhm.
so I think if I'm hearing you right, Dale, that we might want to set a goal that's a little higher than $17.
No, I'm not saying that at all, because I'm just gonna be honest with you. I did this growth challenge personally last year,
Mhm.
and it's not a lot of money, but when you get into those last couple of months of paying this, if you're doing it on a weekly basis, you're probably talking about $150, $200 a month commitment, in the last few months. So I don't know if that's a stretch for anybody, going down when you start getting to the last months, but I did have to start looking at that, and it was actual. You have, before in the first few months, you can just kind of, okay, yeah, $2, $3, okay, fine, 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 but when you start getting to where you have to actually start paying out, a couple $100 a month, then it becomes a thought process at that point, that it's just not, pocket money, you're actually making a real to do that at that point. So, I'm thinking in this first year, you don't want to stretch yourself out too far, and so, yeah, I'm going to do this and do that, pie in the sky kind of announcements or kind of dreams and whatnot. I think that you want to get the first year up under your belt, see how it feels and whatnot, and then move forward from there. In your second year, you know exactly what it is that you committed to. And I don't think that we should stretch ourselves too far. And long story short, in the first year of this commitment, we don't want it to become a stress factor for anybody on the group. As to, okay, you got committed to more than what I can handle. I'm not saying that would ever be the case, but I'm just saying that, getting through it the first year, I think would be something to look back on. And as a group, we could be able to make that determination, as to should we go further, should we go further, should we commit more or whatever, but I think the first year is getting a foundational, structure for the actual financial commitment. I think is something that we should do. We should let this first year play itself out. Not saying that we shouldn't have these objectives, but I'm talking about financially trying to make a commitment more than what we've already committed. I don't know if that's wise. Just my opinion.
Yeah, you might have a point because we started with a base plan. And before we even get through a year, we're increasing it.
Okay.
That might not, we probably need to get through what our base initial planning was on it. Possibly, I don't know. But 100,
I was just looking at an even number. That's the only reason why.
no, even is fine. That's fine.
Mhm.
Because
But
so it's like 420 from the 2022 from us? How much was that? How much we had?
I wish I had the sheet.
No, don't worry about it. No. Okay, so this is ballparking, okay? So let's say we all contributed, what was it, 105 we had to contribute at the end of,
Mhm.
so times 4 is 420, right?
Mhm.
Okay, just ballparking. And then 1378 this year times 4 is 5512 plus 420. That's 5932.
Mhm.
So that is like, and then maybe the rest is an interest, who knows? So I don't know if this is not a bad goal, only because suppose you end up getting somebody to join.
Mm.
then that pluses that up 6,000 higher. You know, I mean, these are goals, you know, so I think the suggestion of 17 or whatever is good. It's a part of a strategy of getting there.
Mhm.
So or it can even be a you know, a tactic or whatever, you know, maybe you know, something that we actually do, you know, in the end. But maybe right now we should keep the goal at 6,000. We're close there anyway, and it's not that much. You know, it's just a few more dollars if we just do our basic plan.
Mhm.
Did you say we made $15 of interest?
$5.
Oh, hey, man, jeez. That's you know, $5. I mean, it's only $68 difference.
Mhm.
Maybe the difference is gonna be accumulated through interest.
But that $5.60 is for 5 months.
Oh, that's 4 or 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it might be higher with more money.
Yeah, yeah.
It's close, you know.
I'm in agreement with you. I think that number, the 6,000, is achievable. You know, especially when you add in last year and this year, what we committed will pretty much come close to the $6,000. My statement was that I don't want for us to start trying to envision more than that. You know, as a commitment, this $6,000, that's totally doable when you look at it. But let's just not put any kind of a financial
Mhm.
stipulation on people other than what we've already committed to, you know, and like I said, another $17, that's not gonna make it or break it one way or the other, you know, but let's not go further than that. Let's get a year under our belt and then move forward.
Okay, so the strategy points underneath that one would be you know, maintain, it's like maintain, you know, current plan of a contribution, and then the you know, another part could be, you know, adding new members.
Mhm.
You know, it could, you know, we're not, you know, how we're going to do this is by maintaining and also adding new members, and we're not quantifying that yet. We're just saying this is how we're going to do that to get there.
So don't put the $17 in there?
No, because that's if you put the 17, and that means that, I mean, that's increasing our contribution level right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it goes from 1,378 to 1,500 at the
Get
end
to
of the year,
6,000 by adding new members.
right?
Because
So
you have to be specific how you're going to get to that 6,000.
Right.
okay, so you get to the 6,000 right now by, you know, by maintaining, you know, current contribution level, you know, plus you know, funds from the from 2022 and interest. And that would be one section. Then the second one would be adding new membership. That's another way of getting there. You know what I mean? Because we don't know the timing of if that happens.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a strategy.
I can't see it.
Pardon me?
You
How,
can't.
how do you do the strategy? A wish, or is it something that you see in
No,
front of you that can happen?
no. When you set a goal in anything that you do, you set a goal of what you want to achieve. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times it's minimal, you know, because sometimes you have a minimum goal and then you have a stretch goal. The
Mm-hmm.
minimum goal right now is $6,000, and we can pretty much get to that $6,000
Mm-hmm.
based on our current payment.
We'd have to give a little bit more to hit that 6,000, not much more.
Mhm.
But we
Yeah,
would
well-
have to we'd have to make a commitment, Roy, to add $17 or
Mhm.
to do something to make
Well-
it so that it's achievable.
Well, then,
Because the interest is not gonna be good.
okay, so what's the cheap, what did I say? It's like, what, $68 at the end of the year if we just do our basic
Mhm.
plan? Even without even adding anybody.
Mm-hmm.
What's 68 divided by 4? You know,
$17,
so that's the $17, right?
right?
Okay, so so that's like $17
Mhm.
just to get to the base plan.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody can
Mhm.
get $17, but I think I was thinking $17 more a month,
No,
but
Oh,
17,
no.
okay, so $17 at the end of the year,
mm-hmm.
like an assessment to the remaining members. That's not bad.
Mm-mm.
I didn't get that. I got that now.
Or we could,
You get that,
Or-
Dale?
Yeah.
Huh?
And maybe not wait, like for me, I don't, the only way that it would be harder, like Dale, like you said, for me to have to give that 150. So I'm trying to give more upfront so I don't have that big bill at the end.
Mhm.
So if I know in advance that some point I need to have 17, I might give $5 more this month. $5 more next month. I can plan how to do the $17 and it not be burdensome.
Right, and so I think this statement needs to be, because I was confused. I thought it was 17. I was looking at the 1,500 as a total versus 1,378.
Mm-hmm.
And, I wasn't looking at it. So, because 1,500 total divided by 12 is, whoops, it's a 1,500 divided by 12. It's like 125
Mm-hmm.
a month.
oh. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? That's like to get to the 15 at the end, where we're at 1,578 divided by 12. You see, it's like 114 on average. 115 on average.
Oh, $1.15.
No, $114,
$100.
$115 rounded off.
Okay.
Average what we're doing now a month. At
Okay.
1,378 is the
Mhm.
total that we're trying to get to. And I was looking at it maybe in that way
Mhm.
versus, and to tie into what Dale was saying.
Mhm.
Okay.
So,
I guess one thing that I probably need not to do.
like $10 more a month almost on average. So in, but
No, she's saying that we just a one-time 17, right, Valor? You're saying, in the next year, we would pay our regular plan and just an additional $17 at some place once.
that makes, that's what, then I'm more comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Mhm. Or the total of, which would be a total of 1,500.
Anyway,
Mhm.
Mhm.
But you see, what I'm thinking people are getting confused is that the total plan, if you just start from January to December, is 1,378.
yeah, I'm with you, Dale.
Getting in the amount from last year into that number, so that's not amount that you have to pay. That's
Exactly.
already been paid.
Mhm.
Your total amount is going to be 1,378 that you're going to actually have to pay for this year.
Yeah, you see what Dale's saying? So
And if you look,
1378, wait a
and
minute,
if you look at the total, you can see that.
1378 is what we're paying into for the year.
Mhm.
If you add $17 at the end of the year, that's gonna be 1,395. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's not 1,500
Ah,
per person.
You mean what you, what you currently owe? Yes, you're right. If you look at the balance sheet, that you have in front of you,
Oh, that's not including the, you're still including, okay, so here's the deal. I got it. My mind is, here, let me take another sip of coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. So the extra $17 is extra 17 on top of what we're currently paying. So it's like that $13.95. It's not a lot of money
mhm,
because you're
Mhm.
already incorporating the
the 105 you paid.
yeah. So we're not really it's a mental thing in the way it's written, and I know I'm with Dale on the mental. It's like we're contributing 1,500. You're doing that in 1 year. We're not contributing 1,500. We're
No,
taking the
not,
balance. We're taking the balance from last year to this.
mhm.
This needs to be written.
okay,
That 1,500 is confusing.
Mhm.
okay,
Okay.
If you know what I mean, because we're now talking about 2023.
Yeah, you're talking 13.95.
I,
13.
But
I see the confusion, yeah.
but does it help when you look at your balance sheet that shows you exactly how much you owe? Is that helpful? Or you're
Well,
saying it needs to be written in the objective?
yeah. So see, I know that I know if I owe 13.95 versus 78, I know that's what I got to make up throughout the year, no matter what. It's
Mhm,
not a lot more money. But
mhm,
if you put it at contributing 1,500, then now I'm thinking a whole different ball game. So it's like it needs to be split up this year. Okay, we're carrying over 420. I'm just throwing numbers.
mhm.
That's what we're carrying over. For
Mhm.
2023, this is what we're trying to do. Your financial report is going to show 6,000. But in order to get to 6,000, what do we got to do in 2000? What do we have to do in 2023?
It's the 13.95, yeah.
That's what we're working on now.
So
Mhm.
can we say something as simple as each member will contribute an additional $17?
What all I would do is family fund minimum 6,000. How am I getting? How are we getting there? The strategy. We have 400. We have X amount carryover from 2022. That's one, and then we accumulate 1,390 something in 2023 per member. You see what I'm saying? You don't even have to say, well, you can,
Why do we need to say that at all? Why can't we just say increase by $17? If that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would be simpler.
Mhm. And then
Okay.
just take the rest of the dollars out by increasing the yearly contribution of
The annual
current members
contribution.
of
That's it.
$17, period.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. That would be simple.
yeah,
I'm gonna delete this.
okay.
And
Make
that's a current member. So if another member joins,
it's gonna be
they're
it's
not,
gonna be more, which
no, but
is
I'm saying, are they obligated to pay that $17 also? That's not included. It's just the current members.
yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because that's like a one-time assessment.
Mhm.
So
yeah,
the base the way you okay, so by increasing the existing annual contribution of current members by $17,
So you want me to use the word annual instead of
Put
yearly?
annual, and then you could put, by a one-time 17, it's like in order to make sure people know it's increasing it by a one-time. That's fine.
Yeah, because this is 2023
Yeah.
goal.
It's fine. Yeah.
So by increasing the existing annual contribution of current members by $17.
Okay.
That to me, that's clear.
Yeah. And then let's see.
I
You
mean,
know what I like about this?
Question,
Yes.
it's $17 once a month, $17 period. What I think you do need some clarification as to a one-time assessment of $17, or somehow know that that's just $17 one time. It's not a rolling figure.
Okay.
By a one-time assessment.
Or started by that, but a one-time
Yeah, by a one-time.
annual contribution of $17. Right? Can we start a sentence that way? By just saying by a one-time, I'm just talking,
Mm-hmm.
time
Increase the existing contribution.
Increase the existing annual.
By a one-time
membership
annual contribution.
Increase the existing annual. No,
Like started here.
or with a one-time or with a one-time assessment of $17 contributions annually by current members. By would be better.
I shouldn't have probably did this. I can come with a one-time annual contribution of $17.
Oh,
it's actually an assessment.
yeah.
It is an assessment. It is a to the current.
You shouldn't have took out the rest of the sentence, Donna. So
I'm gonna put it back. Easy. I just want you to see what it looked like short.
With a one-time what?
How are we getting this fund? We're getting this fund through current contribution, through current annual contribution membership, current annual membership contribution with a one-time year-end assessment.
Oh, through.
One-time year-end assessment of $17.
Yeah, write it down, Valerie. So, you writing it down?
Through a
I don't know what the hell
one-time.
I said.
So we're gonna start a sentence with through a one-time?
No, that's not. How are we paying this fund? Through did I say what? Through a annual contribution, annual membership contribution.
Well, when you say annual, then it makes it sound like that's something you're gonna do every year.
So
I don't think you wanna, I don't think you wanna have annual, huh?
Why?
Because annual sounds like something you do every year.
No, I'm not done. I had a remaining sentence.
Okay.
So, and now I'm really all messed up. I had it going. I had the flow, baby. Okay, so it was how are we paying this fund? Through annual membership contribution. Through our annual member contribution.
Put an and.
A one-time year-end assessment of $17. Something like that, right? Is that too long? No, I'm all messed up. Including a one-time year-end assessment of $17.
including a one-time annual assessment of $17.
That, and that means that, you know, it's not every month.
Mhm.
Through annual membership contributions,
Yep.
including one-time annual assessment of $17.
One-time assessment, so you don't have annual in there twice?
No, I wouldn't do annual because it's a one-time. That means it goes back to normal.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It just goes back to normal because we will have different goals after that. I mean, we're not trying to increase it or anything like that. We're just trying to get to 6,000, and this is a way of doing it.
Mhm.
You take the annual out before assessment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. If you take the annual out, then
Yeah,
it's,
take that annual out.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm- yeah, so we don't have two annuals.
one-time assessment.
That's
One
clear.
time, maybe year-end assessment.
I don't know if you
Maybe
need to
you wanna
say
take-
year end,
Okay,
because people may not give, I may give mine before the end of the year.
Take the annual out. of the-
okay, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Take that out of the thing. You said it's just you said through a one-time,
No,
right?
no,
Assessment.
no, it's two
$17
parts.
by current members.
Yeah, it's two parts. It's us paying our normal contribution, you know, plus a one-time assessment of $17, a one-time assessment.
You're right, Val. Can we just say through a one-time assessment of 17? Do we need to say annual? We say here, maintain current contribution plan. So through,
I think it should stay your annual membership contribution. I think you should probably put an and instead of including.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. That's good, Bill. Yeah.
Yeah,
And include.
yeah.
that is clear,
Or
Yeah.
which includes.
which includes,
Or
No, and because it's the annual membership is normal, and
Mhm.
a one-time is a second
that is
Yep.
clear.
part
And
of it.
include. Yep, that's good, Bill.
That is clear. We don't even need this last sentence here because that's included there,
Include.
right?
No,
Huh?
Include, Donna, and include.
And include.
I don't know if you need include. I think I like it the way it is.
And a.
Yeah, and a one-time assessment of $17.
Yeah,
That's clear.
Saying that it's being included. I don't think you need to say included.
yeah, that's pretty clean.
All right.
And I don't think we need this sentence here
No.
because that's included there, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
We can delete the last one. Okay. Okay.
And then the top one
Mm.
is redundant now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that takes, okay, the reason why I like this, is now we got an objective and strategy.
Mm-hmm.
So that, this discussion, we says is objectives, we should probably have objective/strategy,
Oh,
Objectives and strategy.
right? Just slash, / strategies. GRA.
Right.
Yes.
T. S-T-R-A-T.
Spell check to catch it.
S-T-R-E-T.
TEGIES, not duh. You sound like you're from Detroit.
Well, I
Strategy.
am,
Yeah,
No,
and proud of it.
no.
No,
got
that
it.
is right.
No.
STRA.
T.
T.
Jesus.
G. Yeah.
IES.
Oh, yeah, strategy. Yeah.
IES.
IES. Then, okay, so then the do you see where it says increase membership 6 to 4. Is that, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a standalone objective? It could be. I'm not saying no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can either say from 4 to 6 or say increase membership by 2.
I think she quantified it, which is fine. If
Mm-hmm.
we don't get it, then we just have a discussion of why,
Mm-hmm.
and then we redo it again. But if you think that that's a goal of adding like 2, as if that's a goal,
Mm-hmm.
it could be a goal, and then we could put a couple bullet points underneath that of how to do it,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So
Increase membership by 2. Is that what you're saying?
no, it's fine the way it
Leave
is.
it as is. Okay.
What do you think, guys? By 2 or 4 to 6? It says by June.
Yeah, you didn't mean that, right?
What?
You didn't mean by June, right?
I did, but that was just an objective that I put down. Doesn't have to stay that way.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Well, the only reason why I think that there would be a timeline in there, because I think in one of our previous statements, we said that for someone to join in the year 2023 and become active members, they would have to pay back to January, and then they could be bought in. Now, if you go too long in a year, that's going to be a lot of money that somebody's going to have to pay in order to join in 2023. Because 2023, I thought we was leaving open for people to be able to join. After 2023, it would only be annual that people could join into the fund. So
Right.
this year was open because we wanted to encourage family members or whoever to join, but they still would have to pay back to be able to be caught up to this year. But they had that option.
Mm-hmm.
After this year, they won't have that option mid-year to join.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we had said before. Now, if we stay with that or not, I don't know. But that's why I think maybe having a date in there is maybe important, because after June, then do we allow people to join the fund? Because it would require them to pay back money.
What about getting people who would say, who would make and I don't know if you can say commitment if you're not putting money behind the commitment, but what about someone saying, I do want to join, I'm making a commitment to join, but I can't do it till January? Will we have accomplished this goal? Oh, she gone. She'll be back. So maybe she'll be back. That happened earlier, Roy, where she was popping in and out because of her internet connection. So I can repeat this when she comes back. But what if can we count them as achieving this goal if they say, yes, I want to join, but I can't join until January. I want to start at the beginning.
No, then they would not be a part of this one, because this is for 2023. If they're joining in 2024, then that would not be accomplished in this year.
Okay.
But can they join in with being a part of the discussion? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, remember Kathy, she contributed with some discussion, but she, didn't want to be a funding member yet, but she wanted to give her advice. So if a member came in and wanted to be a participant, maybe that's another way of getting them eventually, by having them to be a part of the discussion. You know what I'm saying? Even though they may not be putting in any money financially, they're not going to have voting rights or anything like that, but they could contribute. I don't know. What's your?
Yeah, because of what it's a membership means. If payment is what qualifies you as membership, then, and they don't pay till January, then you're right, Dale, then that's not a goal achieved. You know, I wonder, you know, sometimes June, you might have somebody say, nah, I'd rather start at the beginning of the year. So if that happens, then we will not have accomplished this first goal. And this is February. That means we got to really get busy.
I think the first, the goal should be, and it's just, semantics, but I think the first one should be the family fund. And then underneath should be increased membership. I'm just saying. As a business, you just want to, or a group, you just want to, the money is, you know, so, and then, yeah. And then the increase, now when you do the increase, that whether it's increased by 2, increased membership by 2 or whatever, and given a date, that's fine. But we should have, you know, what are some of the strategies in order to do that? And Donna, you had some points underneath yours, right?
Yeah. You know, question, do we have an annual meeting or a dinner? Do we wait until we have stuff to, you know, when should we invite members?
You know, this is a little different because we're family.
Mhm.
How formal do you want this to be?
You
I
know,
mean,
yeah.
is there a way to, without having it be formal, is there a way to maybe there's a an update email or something like that, or maybe
Would it be fun to do to have a dinner or some event that a young person might be more interested in? Could we sell? I don't know. You know, I was just, you know,
yeah.
email may not be that, you know. So
Interesting.
yeah, it's like, oh, well, I already knew about that. So what can we do that would make this special, but not expensive? Or do we just have one sibling? You know, one of us might say, well, you know, I have a special relationship to Kathy, I'll ask her. Valerie might say, well, Dale might say, you know, I'll ask Kian. So it might be a personal approach. These were just ideas. Should it be
No,
a
it's good.
you
Yeah,
know,
very good.
personal approach, or do we have some event that would make what we do exciting? And do we do it now, or do we wait till things are more set up? Those were just questions in terms of strategy.
I think that,
Go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, in my opinion, people knew about this fund. They knew about the setting up of it and trying to get it going. Those who wanted to be a part of it, they jumped in and jumped off and whatever. I'm thinking that we need to build on foundation, build on structure, have something that when you go back to people and say, you want to rethink this, you know, and be able to show them the progress that we made, and then see if they want to become a part of it at that point, you know, to bring them back into something that's not established yet. You know, I think we're getting established and what we're doing is good, you know, and once we get through to a certain point, then I think it would be good to have people to come back, you know, even if it's a Zoom call, you know, to be able to say, look at what we've done, you know, you should be a part, maybe some kind of fantastic, you know, Murray probably be good at that, and piquing somebody's interest and and you want to take another look at this kind of thing, you know, and maybe something like that, you know, to push toward the people who we want to identify as who we want back in or want in, you know, and then have them come to a Zoom meeting where we can present to them, you know, what the family fund is and what we're doing, what we've accomplished, and what our growth ideas are, whatever, you know, see if people want to join in at that point. And, you know, and you might be like a one-time offer to be in the fund. At this point, after 2024, you know, this is no longer going to be
50% off.
I'm just talking out some stuff, but anyway, but I think if we have a good foundation, you know, that and the things that we're doing right now, it's establishing that. I think that we need to get that, get this part of it accomplished. And then, maybe start pushing maybe toward trying to get other people involved in, you know, at that point. So, giving us a few months to work out some things, I think is a good thing.
That was what I meant by this one, decide when to invite them.
Mm.
So if that's the case, then a June date might not be a realistic objective, because it still may take us a little bit more time, to figure out the actual structure and maybe say we're opening up a trust fund, or we're opening up a foundation, or whatever the structure is that we have. We'll be able to say that we've raised this amount of money so far, and here's a mission, here's a vision. So
Yeah, so I don't know what that time frame would be or how that would work, but the timing of it, and how strict are we going to be as far as I know we said it, if you join, you got to pay all past months to bring yourself up to current, to have voting rights and all this kind of thing. If we're going to stand in that, then we might be pushing for people to join in 2024 rather than joining mid-year this year. Our goal might be to have new members come in 2024. But I don't know. Just a thought process.
Yeah.
I agree with Dale that we should probably try to put some stuff in order, but me, myself, if we're just asking 2 family members to join, I would not have a problem with calling, talking, finding out, even if they say no, why? Now, once we start moving further past this, to expand it even further, like the nieces and stuff like that, we might want to have more structure. But to me, just taking a personal approach and finding out, because Kathy and Fran said they were going to join. If I don't have a problem with just trying to talk with someone to find out. And if that's not the proper way to do it, I'm just talking about for the 2 who said they had an interest. And Kian said she had an interest. As we still try to prepare ourselves, because we can always tell them, their immediate family, that we're trying to plan, we're putting stuff together, we want you to be involved in that. I don't think we have to be so structured just for the immediate family. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I how some people get turned off by someone coming at them with groups and bells and whistles and stuff like that. You just kind of like, some people, they're motivated that way and they're good, but I'm, a lot of times you can't come at me with a lot of bells and whistles without a lot of, especially as a family member. Okay. And so I don't know, but I'm old. Okay. So the one thing I like to do is, we're actually building the ship. It's hard. It's like, this first phases of stuff, you know what I mean? It's like, what's that phrase? I don't even know, but you're doing everything soup to nuts on it. It could be boring to some people. I don't know.
Plowing the ground,
Yeah, we're really, getting our fingers in the dirt. And so if we had at a stage where we can now kind of like present, here's what it is. Here's what we've been able to do so far. Maybe it's written in such a way, or a presentation or whatever. Here's what it is so far. This is what we're trying to accomplish. And then we have conversations with people, not like a annual like a present, I don't know, but we have conversation initially with people. And the one thing that Valerie said that might make sense is even if they said no, find out why.
Mhm.
And then we can take that and answer and help answer their questions. That way we're not just throwing things at them without really, in the end, why. I mean, the why could be, I don't have money. Or the why could be like Kathy, I'm contributing somewhere else, but I can't do it now yet.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not like it was a lot of money, but still it could be an issue with people. Or maybe it's, well, I don't really understand what we're trying to do.
Mhm.
Or what's the structure? What's the they may not know. And so what we do is we can either answer it there or answer it in a way where then maybe we can get them the next time because they understand.
Mhm.
I would like them to maybe participate in this without feeling the pressure of money
Hmm.
initially. So maybe there is a point where we feel like, okay, we can tell a good story with what we have. Let's just see if we can get some of them on the phone. I mean, during the meeting, and then just have a normal meeting, and then see if there's any other way of getting them to contribute, to contribute to that meeting, and then see if they'd like to be involved. And if they don't want to talk on the phone or whatever, then maybe Valerie reaches out, or Dale, or you reach out to help answer certain questions.
Valerie would be very good at of having those kind of conversations with, because she has the ability to dig and to ask questions that people may not obviously answer.
Yeah, because she has all kind of questions.
Oh my God.
Well, stop.
Before she all in your history and how many
Yeah.
people did you date last,
deep.
So anyway, so is that man stop, anyway, she could.
So one of these things, when I was
She could, can I just say this? I think that that personal approach with Valerie would, oh, I need to plug up my computer. It's gonna go, battery's gonna go funky. But I think that she would be able to get answers one-on-one that we may not get if we ask them to come here
yeah, and maybe
for a first approach.
and maybe we have a target. Like not every we kind of know our sibling. I'm not gonna get France or Adrian to pull off deals where I know they're not gonna be my initial target. They may be in the future, but may not be the initial one. Or maybe Kian is not ready. So she might not be, or maybe she is. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But the if we can, when I was with this group that's called BNI.
Mm-hmm.
Business, and what it is, it's a group of getting people to join you. And so you invite people to your meeting, and basically what you're doing is you're having a normal meeting. And then when you have, so they can see how it operates, and then you also make sure you give them a sense of why should they join. Here's the reasons why it will benefit you too, or could benefit you too. And then some people will like it and some people won't, but there is money, you have to be a member, so you have to be a part of it. And we have, breakfast meetings, blah, 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 whatever the hell. But it's, maybe there's a way when we got to a point where we can have a picture painted for them. That they don't have to go through all the stuff we're going through. We present a mission, we present, our vision, our mission. Here's some of the objectives, what we're trying to accomplish. Year in, we believe we're going to be here. About 5 years, we believe we're going to be here. This is even without you guys being added. But boy, imagine if you could. Then, because then with that, maybe something happens, you need some help. We can assist you. Or maybe there's something that you like to participate in, or you want to donate to.
Mm-hmm.
food for the homeless, whatever it is, I don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
you can be a part of that if there's something in there that touches your heart that you want to participate in. And in the end, I mean, just imagine if we were to all together be able to accumulate X amount of dollars, and if there's an emergency, we don't have to, we can come to each other for that help.
Mhm.
So maybe, you know what I'm saying? So maybe there's and that is captured through everything we're doing so far.
Yep.
Vision, mission, our objectives. How, it's there. We're painting the picture for them. So maybe they understand. And that is through them at least participating in one of the meetings that we have,
Mm-hmm.
or Valerie doing her Columbo on them.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
know.
let me ask this then. If I did talk with them, I would be I would be attempting to get them to come to the next meeting also.
Yeah.
Would it be possible for us, because to maybe meet an hour the week before we have our official meeting, so that we can just put some things down? Because my goal would be to, if I did talk to them, to say our next meeting is such and such a date, and we want you to come to that meeting so that you can hear where we are, where we're trying to go. And so if nothing else, can we put you down to come to that meeting?
And
Right.
what would be
We would need
helpful,
something structured so that we're not just doing like we are now.
Correct.
and what would be helpful is if we met a week before, like you said, now here are the concerns, here are the things that we need to address.
Mhm.
Then we would be able to make sure that we're hitting those objections or those
Mhm.
stumbling blocks when they meet.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would have it like a premise of, I wouldn't mind having their feedback.
Mm.
We're voting, it's
Mm.
our vote, but still, like I said, but even if they're not contributing yet, if they if they like how it's going, or if they had other suggestions that we might not be thinking about,
Mhm.
if they felt like they were participating, not just being talked at, then
Mhm.
all of a sudden they're a part of it in a
Mhm.
sense.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? So I mean, like you have a meeting, Valerie or Donna, or you have a meeting, you set up your meeting, right? You know, here's your audience. So
Mhm.
what are you doing? You're basically outlining you're outlining your program.
Mhm.
This is what we're doing, this is where we're so far, this is what we got, here's our goals. We're not telling them to develop it, it's already developed.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And then
So we're not pressuring you to join. We're
no,
not pressuring you to join. We just
Yeah.
want you to join, and we want
Yeah.
you to see the value in joining.
Exactly. It's there, the work is done. And then and then through that process, you guys have any feedback? Is there something that you feel like we need to make sure that we might have missed, or anything that would be of interest to you, or some way of getting them to give feedback, and they go, oh yeah, I really like this, this is good, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
And then maybe they will be encouraged to join sooner.
Mhm. So
Can
what
I
do
tell
we
you?
do?
Can I tell you what I'm hearing? I'm hearing Valerie's Columbo approach. I'm hearing us inviting them to a meeting once we kind of understand a little bit more about what might be challenging to them. But I also heard Dell say that we might need to have our stuff a little bit more structured first. And so I don't want us to ignore that, because I'm not sure, not that we have to have things perfectly, but do we need to have, when you think of structure, Dale, is there a certain place you think we need to be before we present to them?
What I was thinking is that, and I know we've all probably been there, we go to a meeting and you just say, okay, that was a waste of my time. You know, because they weren't organized and you got nothing out of that meeting. So I'm saying that if we can be to a point, and I've said the stuff that we've been doing, to have it in a, I don't necessarily mean it has to be a finished presentation, but have it organized so that when they come to the meeting, and even if we had to do our meeting thoughts or whatever, where they can see what's happening in the progress and how it progress, all those kind of things, so that when they come out of that meeting, they can see exactly where we are and where we're going. Then if they buy into that, if they don't buy into it, then okay, it's not for them. But if they can hear what we're saying, what we're going through and where we're trying to go, whatever, and they say, oh yeah, like Roy was saying, yeah, that's something that I can see and I believe in, and I have some ideas to add to that, then those are the people that we want. And so I don't know.
Do you think we're ready to do that?
We can
No,
give
we're
good,
not ready.
yeah.
Okay,
No, not at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
that was my question, if we're ready, and it doesn't sound like we are.
No, we're just,
Okay,
we haven't finished today,
okay,
but I'm not saying that we're that far off.
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
I mean, we're getting there pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, so
mean,
Valerie, should she wait to talk to them until, because if she wants to talk to them and invite them to a meeting, should she wait a minute before she does that?
I would say so, but that's my opinion.
I do too, that's the reason I brought it up. Because you don't
Okay.
want to say, we want to invite you to a meeting, and that's 3 months from now, or 2 months from now.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, then we just continue to work on the structure of everything for the next month or so and then go from there.
Mhm.
But we do want to do it before June because you don't want to be past the mid-month before you even start asking people to join.
so it's February, almost March.
Yeah,
So if you want to pick a time that we would at least do that, we can have a target date ourselves, that we would want to have some, people invited. If you wanted to attend, we can just put it out there. If you wanted to attend, we'd love you to invite so we can fill you in, blah, blah, blah. And Valerie would have already talked to, maybe we get a few people to participate.
so what do we need to do? We need to finish our objectives, our objectives and strategy.
Yeah.
And do we need to at least have some idea of the kind of, I'm saying, we might not need to have that done before we talk to them, but do we need to say we're considering a foundation, an LLC, a trust fund? Do we need to at least have that piece ironed out?
I think that's boring to them. I think, we need, we're working on LLC. That to me is like soup to nuts. Again, that's something that we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think we need to I guess get into their passion, or get them passionate about participating. And I don't think being an LLC is a passion point.
I say, how much structure is what I'm asking? How
Okay.
much structure do we need to say, okay, now we're ready?
I think that and I'm talking a lot here, but I think this structure is really us. I mean, imagine if we had this meeting before we even knew what the hell we were doing, what our objectives and strategy, our vision. Remember, Valerie didn't even know. Valerie said, "What the hell are we doing?"
Mm-hmm.
And which caused us to develop this.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're doing it. That feels good.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we need to at least be at a point where we can tell them what our goals are, what we're trying to accomplish, some of the ideas that we might have, where we are right now. As soon as if they participate, they could be a part of that discussion of how we are going to be able to utilize, some of the monies that we accumulate. And then just imagine if you had an issue or something that we need to address like immediate, we have a resource to be able to tap into. I think what I'm saying is we need to attach whatever we do to their emotions to get them
Mhm.
emotionally involved. I mean, we're emotionally attached because we see this vision.
Mhm.
They're not, I don't know if they're there yet.
Mhm.
And if they're
Mhm.
not there, like, oh, and Kathy sees it, but she's not involved yet. Why?
Why?
Mhm.
What are we missing?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And maybe she doesn't, and I'm not saying this is the fact at all, but maybe she thinks it's not, she doesn't see it yet.
It might be on her doing her own fund
Her
and
own thing is better.
how do I do this? And can I do my own? Because remember, she's the originator of this. Can I
Correct.
continue to do my own and support what you guys do?
Correct.
Especially when you get into that 11th month and 12th month. Can I afford to do both?
Right.
Mhm.
You know, I would be surprised if that is a conversation that she's.
I
some
bet you it
thoughts.
is. Yeah, you know, limited funds. It's a
Yep.
issue. So I don't think we have to have everything buttoned up, but just enough to be able to tell a story, and then they can be involved in that story. So LLC, other things that we need to do in addition to the bylaw, all that, they can be a contributor to that.
Mhm.
And but once again, why?
Mhm.
The why's got to be very strong for them to say, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
And like Dale said, if they want to participate, great. Some just not going to want it. You know, so that's okay.
It could be a timing thing.
It could be a timing thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like you said earlier, someone said earlier, when you've got 1,000 in your bank, but when you have 50,000, you know, or 100,000, then it might be, oh, okay, you wanting me to be a part of deciding how to spend 100,000 that's gonna grow up, you know, that might be a little bit more intriguing.
Yeah.
Um, so it might be timing.
Yeah, especially if you can see and you can, it's one thing to say you have 50,000, but it's another thing to see what the vision of that 50,000 means.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so I know with Kathy, and I know also with Fran, that they are a little bit into structure,
Yep.
and they like to see the structure of stuff. They get wary when there's no structure.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I hear what Dale is saying, because that they're going to want to know, well, okay, so now you say you got this money and that it's going to go to family. What does that mean?
Yep. How are you going to do that? How are you going to determine who gets what? Can Fran even ask that? Yeah, Fran asked that question. How do you decide who gets what? What's the process of that? So, you can say that you can contribute to that. She knew that from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, sometimes people don't want to be a part of that piece.
Right.
You know, they just want to know that there's a structure that makes sense and that they can still make suggestions, but they may not want to be a part of figuring out how do you decide to give the money? How do you, that's, so that's the piece. How much structure? I don't think we have to have things perfect, but we need to have enough structure, or Fran or Kathy, they won't be interested.
But I think we got the mission. Not think we got the mission. We got the vision. All we need is to finalize some objectives. That's
Yeah.
I think, and
And
we'll be
strategies, like you
yeah,
said.
yeah.
Mhm.
I think what Lloyd said is important as well. You gotta intrigue people with their visions as to what they just want to see happening with the fund as well. You gotta be able to open up some doors to people to say that, oh yeah, I can see that. Because like you said, people already they know about the fund, they know what we're trying to do. If they come and say, well, what are you gonna do with the fund? who's going to get the money or whatever, you got to be able to have some visions as to what's going to happen with the money once it accumulates, and you want people to be involved in that. But that's the hardest part of it. I'm not that excited about somebody who wants to jump on board once we have $100,000, as to the person who wants to get involved when we got $1,000. The person that wants to be involved at $1,000, that's a person who's going to be willing to dream and vision along with you, not somebody who's going to get on board and say, okay, let's see how we can spend.
What can I get out of it? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you want the people who are going to get on board, when we're building. A lot of people don't want to build a boat, but a lot of people would like to ride on it. So we want the people who's going to help build the boat. So it ain't got to be perfect, but we just got to show them, materials that we got to build a boat. Well, we have the stuff to build a boat. We just need the help. We need the help to get it done, right? I always says, the vineyard, you just need the workers. The harvest is right, but the laborers are few. So we need some people who actually want to come in and help us. So, at some point, you gotta quit begging people. People gotta want to be in there. People got their own visions and their own stories. And sometimes their story just don't coincide with ours. And that's family members as well. If they can't see it and don't want to be a part. Once we made our presentation on it, then that's between them and God, and their family as to how they want to work it out. And then we just need to move forward, and find other people. If Fran and Kathy, who you like, them to be a part of it, but if it ain't in their foreseeable future to do it, then that's okay. You just have to move forward, with or without them, and find other folks, that might want to be a part of it, because the vision, God giving us the vision, he'll provide or show us the people who are going to be or want to be a part of this thing, but a lot of people not going to jump on a sinking ship or going to get in the car that ain't got no wheels. We gotta give them something that makes them want to get in the car and go for the ride with us, So like Roy said, or Donna, whoever getting through these objectives, having some ideas of how we want this first year to go, and knowing that this is only a first year. People got to see that this is our first year. It's not going to be any finality, and this is the first year we're building. Help us build. And I think that ought to be our pushing point. That we're building. We want you to get on board and help us to build this. It's nothing is in stone right now. We want to build this, and we want you to be a part of that. This is what we got.
Done. We just have to get our presentation together and get our objectives and strategies.
Right.
For 2023, and when we're ready.
We're close.
It sounds like once we finish the strategies, then we're close, right? Once we finish that piece, then that's good structure. And then it's just a matter of us brainstorming how do we which is one of our objectives, right? How do we introduce people and get them excited to be a part of what we're doing?
Yeah. It's storytelling. I mean, it's every one of us on this phone, needed help. We scrambled to help each other, and we did. And we all experienced that. Maybe some of the youngsters haven't experienced it enough. I know Kathy, and everybody struggled. And so imagine being in a situation where you just don't know how to get out of it.
Yeah.
And you need a temporary help for just a minute, get you through. And imagine being able to have a resource that is family oriented to help you at least get through that point. I don't know what's going to happen. You haven't seen it yet. You haven't experienced. You'll um. And normally what's gonna happen is family's gonna help you anyway. But wouldn't it be good to be able to have a resource that, where you can tap into it?
Mhm.
There's a guy I talked to, who's Hispanic yesterday, is a business owner, young, and he contributed to his family that needed some help. So he drains his funds. He told me about it. I had to drain it, and I'm trying to build it right back. But see, family help family,
Mhm.
no matter what culture, and that's what we're trying to do in a sense.
Mhm.
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 And you got to kind of have to feel that that's a passion for us.
Mhm.
I wonder if, I don't know. I mean, I wonder how if they could see that themselves and to a certain degree
Yeah.
in what we're doing and it help
Yeah.
the decision making process.
Yeah. Lauren, I mean, when you're young in your 20s, you don't have the kind of challenges you've had are you're just starting out. Ken's a little older, so she's probably
Not
had some.
necessarily, not necessarily true, God, and most of the time, young folks just not associated. They had parents who pulled them through a lot of crap.
You're right.
I
You're
can,
right.
I can think a whole lot of times I pulled her through a lot of crap, but she's my daughter. That's what I do.
Mhm. Mhm.
Imagine if that was her as a grown person or somebody older and have to go through those things,
Mhm.
and you didn't have that parent who
Mm.
threw on some stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, they got stuff to lean back on. I mean, even Roy's daughters and them, they had some times where they had to lean on them as well.
Yeah.
Kathy, had times where they had to lean on their kids had to lean on them for whatever. So I'm just saying, people been through stuff, even kids. They just not associating it, you know, to a family unit that would be there to help them through different situations and circumstances.
That's good.
Like I said, Roy said it's part of the story. You just have to make people to think. Think back. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm. And even if it had not been you that went through something, do you know of a family member that you seen had to go through some stuff that if this had been there, it
Yeah.
would have been a helpful situation for them to be able to have.
Yeah.
Just different things, that you just got to make people think and associate.
Mhm.
And kind of think about it's not just yourself.
Mhm.
When you're young, it's like it's more me.
Mhm.
And oh, I'm gonna give money, but it's not coming back to me.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And but it could. And so I don't know. I think and we probably could have been better at it ourselves when we were young, is that the plant, and Kathy is probably good at this. I mean, you save.
Mhm.
Remember, Daddy always say, gotta save a certain amount of money. You gotta save for the rainy day. You gotta save.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're not doing it the way you should. And so
Mhm.
maybe this is also another habit that you teach people.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know we kind of got off a little bit, but I think that was important because convincing others to be involved in it involves more than just building it. It's what are you building?
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you build it, they will come. But what are you building, and then how it might benefiting?
Mhm.
How do you benefit from that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because I was telling Donna, even in the long run, I mean, this is years and years away from here. Me and E don't have any children.
Mhm,
We give our properties to family stuff.
mhm.
I mean, so it's more than even the finances that you put in. When you think about a family fund, how do you support people with what you have, especially if you don't have children?
Yeah.
I mean, so it moves into a whole different realm when you're thinking, how can I myself help my family?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's not only the contributions that we are putting in, it's everything else.
Mhm.
Else that surrounds that.
Mhm.
And other cultures just do it better.
Mhm.
We're not good at this. I mean,
Mhm.
other
Yeah.
cultures, Jewish, Asian, Hispanics help each other, big time. I mean, they help each other. It's automatic, and a lot of them have more money too. A lot of times,
Yeah.
they accumulate it.
Mhm.
Well, all we're trying to do is kind of create a habit of some sort to be able to have it to help people in our family, at least as a starting.
Yeah.
And you never know what that will do in terms of encouraging other people. You know, that's not the main reason we do that, but other folks will see, okay, here's an example of a family who took care of each other. And that might motivate others to want to do the same.
Yeah. Well, in the future, I do like the idea of being able to figure out ways that you can expand your, I mean, maybe, through, maybe there's other kind of investments, maybe there's, Dale and I are probably still paying that into coins.
Mercy.
Not as far as I'm going here with that, but still, I know I got.
I
I still
know, I
got
know.
these
I know.
coins that might be of value there, it's got a few grand in that maybe it'd be worth more than what I put.
That's kind of what you hope for,
But but I'm just saying, but there's some things that you could maybe there's things that you can do to help, plus it up or.
Because my coins are going to go to family. You know what I'm saying? I don't have kids. So that, part of what I want to do is as I'm saving in gold and silver, is that, okay, that's part of, but then you got to teach people the value of it. So Valerie, all them coins you have, how do you teach people the value of what you have?
Yeah.
So they don't toss it.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's more than just what we contribute. So we have to think, broader, but that's down the years from now.
That's down,
Yeah. So marketing, with your marketing experience, it'd be good to really figure out how we market this to our family.
I think all of us are good contributors. I feel like you guys have contributed a lot into this. This is not just, we all market in whatever way. We've all marketed. So so I think we just need to kind of finish up this part.
Okay.
And then I'm not quite sure we're going to do it today now, but we need to finish this part up. Well, here.
Can we say that the goals that Valerie listed, are they the main goals? At least if we can say those are the main objectives.
That's where I was going. Yeah, because the key part today was really making sure we had objectives set, and then the strategy underneath, which I think we can do because we've got a lot of that meat already there. We just need to fit it in. But I like the first one that we established, and the increased membership, that one. I mean, I think what do you think about the goals just in general that we have here?
For the first year, I think it's very.
For the first year,
Bylaws really kind of fit up under the family structure, doesn't it?
I don't know.
But I think it's okay to pull that out, because in the end, the bylaws are going to be a part of the fund structure. But I think it's good to separate it because that's still more, like you said, more operational. How do we operate?
Yeah.
And so I think if we did these 4 things this is February, we did these 4 things by the end of the year, that would be good.
I think we got some starting ground on as far as bylaws anyway, with the stuff that we started to do this year. That stuff would all need to be tweaked and redefined and whatnot, but there's a starting point, so.
So I think our next meeting, Roy, should be looking at what we already have to see if we can plug any of those in terms of strategies or come up with additional ideas of strategy. Because is that where we should focus, clarifying what our strategies, what are the things we're going to do to
that ties into each one of these objectives. And that's it.
How many? I mean, when you write strategies, does it go on and on and on, or you just?
No. No, I mean, you see what we're doing, right? We're not it being so wordy. We're trying to, we're making, you know, like points. We're being direct. And and I'm holding off on the last the last part because we can probably have it as a part of strategies. But the strategies are, I mean, look at the two strategy points that we had under financial. Cool. That's like a strategy, and it's also like a tactic. Well, the tactic, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there.
Yeah, because sometimes I've seen people pull tactics and strategies. Maybe you're separating it, but I've seen some people say strategies, meaning these are the steps that we're going to do to accomplish the objective.
Right. So I think so. And like increased membership, we were just talking about that again, but maybe one point is in you know, like we were saying, some you know, like a summary, you know, our outline of our program, develop an outline of our program, invite members to meetings, you know, to some of our meetings. They don't have to come to each one, but maybe once a month, you know, have meetings with you know, with other family members. With, you know, they don't have to be paid members. They just can be a part of. And then we have a purpose for those. You know, our purpose is always to kind of keep sweat coming. But you know, so you see what I'm saying? So we're just adding a couple points underneath and how we can do that. Family fund structure. That's
I'm gonna go here because you have to research it. You
yeah.
might want to talk to lawyers or fund managers. You know, these were just some steps of what it takes to actually create a fund structure.
Yeah, and this is going to cost if you're dealing with
Yeah,
lawyers and fund managers. That's going to cost money.
which is the reason why I said decide the date, because we may say we want to do this, but we got to raise the money to be able to do that. But at least we, it may not be, you know,
That might not be a 2023 is all I'm saying. I mean, if our goal is to achieve, see, this is what I love. If our goal is to achieve $6,000 at the end of the year and we have a process to do that, and then we end up spending that money, we're not going to get that initial goal.
But at least we'll know where we're going. Even if we don't do it, we can say what we need to do is to do this, but it's going to take this to be able to actually start it.
Exactly. And put it in writing, like you're saying.
Yes. Yeah. So we may not be able to do that in 2023, but we know where we're going in terms of the structure.
Good roadmap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So objectives they don't have to be for that year.
Well, the objectives normally are for the year, but you know, there could be a stage. You know, it's like maybe this is still an objective, but maybe the first phase is X.
Oh, okay.
So like the first phase, like down there saying, you know, like research. You know, there's some research. There's some things that we need to do. So and then so it could be in phases. So it could be an objective this year and next year.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then the actual starting of it might be, you know, 2 years down because we need to come up with $1,000 to cover it or $500 to whatever the price.
Yeah, and we have to agree to it, and it's coming out of our funds, not my pocket.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that's right.
Yeah. So, but it should be a roadmap. So I agree with that. And then the bylaws, we just need to go through the previous notes that we already have and see which ones that we put in as part of the bylaws.
Because bylaws are tell me again what bylaws are.
So you know what, in like formal business meetings, boards, whatever, some of the guys all have like this little book of bylaws, right? So when people are trying to decide on what to do, how to pay, who has a voting rights, etc., it's in the bylaws. So it's like a roadmap to how you operate as a business. The bylaws can also include, for example, our voting rights, how we vote, how decisions are made, when do we meet,
Mhm.
You know, I mean, it's all in there. It's like the roadmap.
Okay.
And so, like you're saying, so as we are talking all this stuff, new people they come in, they'll already the rules will be there for them.
Mhm.
And if a bylaw is changed, you know, it just needs to be voted in as a member or added. It needs to be voted in, and it's got to be a purpose. But that's what bylaws are your legal operations way of handling business, dealing with business.
So some of the things that was in the master list were things
It's
that
a
could
part
be
of bylaws.
considered bylaws.
Yeah, Dale could want to have he may just want to have it's my vote. My vote and everything's approved. Well, then the bylaws are in there to say no, we need to have all 4 members or all members. You know, it's always a way of being able to check ourselves.
So you don't need to have a corporation established to create your
No.
bylaws.
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Matter of fact, remember when you start a nonprofit, you got to have your bylaws prior to starting your nonprofit.
Right.
You know, you've got to have that in place before you
Oh, that's right.
you know, before you start to open up the
Your
company.
article.
Yeah, your
Okay.
articles of incorporation, you got to have your bylaws in place first.
Okay. Been so long, I can't remember. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I think I understand.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know, it's yeah, it's not too bad here with that. I
Mm-mm.
mean, even if I mean, what's going to happen is we're going to have some in there, but then you might think of something that we need to add.
Mhm.
Okay.
So you don't no worries. And I think bylaw and section this or whatever. I mean, they could really get formal, but all we're doing is trying to put rules of the road for now, and then we can.
Because you can increase you can change your bylaws and increase them or decrease them yearly, or what
Well, usually once you set them up, and depending on how you set up your organization, you submit that to someone. You know, the state, knows what your bylaws are, so you can change them. But you usually
Okay.
got to vote on it, and then you've got to let the powers that be, know that
okay.
you've changed how you function.
Okay. All right.
Depending, yeah.
You may have like a funding, like that already has it like categories, I was looking at her notes. Don't flip down. I'm looking at her notes,
Mhm.
fund family fund payment, or she has in there like voting rights, and she has in there financial management, and she had you know what I'm saying. So it's like it's categories of business, membership and fund new membership and then funding. I mean, there's some. It's in there.
Mhm.
We can just steal some things and put that in under bylaws, and it doesn't have to be a long list,
Mhm.
but because we can add to it, because it's.
All
And
right.
again, as we have some help at some point getting someone to look at what we're doing, you'll have lawyers or experts who will say, you can't include this, you should include that. They'll give us some feedback to make sure that what we have is good.
Mhm. And as we're looking for lawyers, because they also have lawyers that do work pro bono.
Yeah, and I remember with pre-legal, I can send in documents for them to look at and give me feedback for free.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay. So all we're doing for this next meeting is objectives and strategy
Yeah, so take those objectives.
for the ones we have. I mean, not
Yeah,
the objective strategy for the objectives.
yeah, add some strategy points to that.
Okay. Okay. All right.
That's, that's it. Isn't it funny? I mean, it's just only a few things, and it's hard doing this
It is.
planning.
My
This
next question though is, um, so this next meeting is going to be to finalize that, and then we're going to go to trying to invite family So is that gonna be like a May or a June?
Yeah, I think we should determine that, like, for example, if we wanted to do a first family meeting, we need to probably have it at the latest, May,
Okay. All right.
May, at the latest, and then before then, we need to develop a sort of a presentation deck or a guide or something like that has everything in it.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, have our stuff look really presentable, nicer, more polished.
Okay.
And,
So that's gonna be like an April meeting. This next meeting is just for the strategy for the objective.
Yeah, kind of finish that part off.
Okay. All right.
And then we'll decide, and you know what, and it's possible when we brainstorm on ideas, we might say, well, let them start like we did. You know, we started in October, but didn't we start off $1 a week?
Well, that's just how the plan works, you know, and we just started from the initial plan.
Mm-hmm,
So, you know, it was $1, $2, $3, $4. So it just went up $1 every week,
mm-hmm,
Mhm.
how the plan works,
mm-hmm,
you know, but we were all at the same starting point. So
mm-hmm,
we just did that for the last 3 months of the year, just to get the bank account open and get everything functioning.
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You know, but that would be a decision that people would have to make if they want to allow somebody to start mid-year and get them started. And that's just going to throw banking and all that kind of stuff into it.
Mhm.
You know, if you start letting people start mid-year and start off at day one, you know, it's going to throw everything in a tizzy, you know, as far as keeping accounts.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. That'd be too much.
It may be easier for them than to try to pay 6 months of 6 months of funds to start.
Mm-hmm.
It might be easier for them to join if they can say, okay, June 1, week 1.
Or if they join in June, we can give them a plan. You pay this much every month, then you'll catch up to us. I mean, we can develop that once once
I thought I read something in the document that if
pay a lump sum, they
they
might even
joined,
Hmm?
they could join without having to pay back the first.
For that first 3 months.
Did I read that right? I don't
Yeah,
know.
that was for the first 3 months, you know, when we first started up, if they joined at the beginning of the year, you know, they had the option to pay the back money, but if they didn't, you know, we weren't going to hold them accountable for that because those were our soft start months where we was
Yeah.
trying to get things organized.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
That's what happened in those first 3 months.
yeah,
If they joined January, then they could start January.
Mm-hmm.
Had the option, they could pay back if they wanted.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something we have to decide. And maybe if once we get to the point where we're ready, when Valerie talks to people, she can know if that's prohibitive. If people say, I can't pay 6 months, you know what I'm saying? The feedback that she gives her might help us to make decisions on what we do at that point. So we can cover that, you know, cross that bridge when we get there.
All
All right, we're probably at over an hour and a half. It feels like it.
right. Whoa, it's 2:20.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Okay, next meeting, guys.
Oh,
Then I say it was the same week every month.
Well, we said the same week and the second, and this is the third, this
No, that's
second
it.
month we met, yeah, so
Yeah,
maybe the third
next
week,
month. Don't get sick next month.
I won't. I won't be here the second week.
You won't be here?
That's my birthday week.
Oh,
So,
I won't be here.
you ain't here
All
now?
you're gonna be, all you're gonna do is be in your RV some damn where. All right.
You trying to say y'all gonna be doing something freaky or something? You ain't gonna want us there?
that ain't none of your, that ain't none of your business.
so we're looking at the third week.
I was gonna say, can we do the 18th just for the March?
Well, we might as well make it the third week of the month since that's where, but yeah, I can do it then.
But it's only because you got sick last month and I got sick this month.
I know.
But do we want to change it to the third every month?
Just for now, just do it that time.
Mhm.
Okay, the 18th then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it could change next month, you know.
All right. All right, the 18th at 12 noon then.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Flu Valerie, you want to pray us out?
No, I'm not feeling, it took me everything to try to get through this meeting.
Really? Okay.
Mhm.
Thanks for showing up, even though you didn't feel well. Well, I opened up. Roy, you want to close us?
No, you guys do it.
Since Dale did it last time. Well, Dale, close us in prayer.
Doesn't have to be long.
What you trying to say? Most Heavenly Father, we thank you for your blessings. Thank you for being a good and a gracious God. We thank you, Most Heavenly Father, for how you show up at our needs, Most Heavenly Father, and help us to accomplish all that we accomplish, Most Heavenly Father. We know that if it had not been for you, we wouldn't be able to accomplish anything. So we just thank you for all that you have done, all that you are doing, and all that you're going to do, Most Heavenly Father. We thank you for how you brought our sisters through their illnesses, Most Heavenly Father, and ask you to continue to watch over and bless Valerie to be able to finish coming through whatever's ailing her right now, my Heavenly Father. We ask you to continue to watch over our families and all the locations that we are, most Heavenly Father, because we know that wherever we are, you are there, most Heavenly Father, and that in the spirit we are all one, most Heavenly Father. So we thank you, most Heavenly Father, for how you allow us to come together and feel the presence of each other, even though we may be in different places, most Heavenly Father. Continue to watch over and bless our households, bless our employment, bless our finances, bless our health, most Heavenly Father. We thank you for how you watched over and kept us in our health, most Heavenly Father. We have our challenges, most Heavenly Father, but we're still here. And we thank you, most Heavenly Father, that you allow us to continue to breathe and to see another day, most Heavenly Father. We thank you because we know that it ain't guaranteed. We know that it's only because of you, and we just thank you, most Heavenly Father, for allowing us to take another breath, take another step, most Heavenly Father. We thank you, most Heavenly Father, for all that you do. We thank you for watching over us as we go on in this day, most Heavenly Father. Help the rest of this day to be as fruitful as what this part of the day has been, most Heavenly Father. We thank you, we praise you, we glorify you, we lift you up, and we say hallelujah to your name, in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Wasn't too
All
long,
right.
Lord,
but
amen.
Yeah, buddy.
Donna, I want to ask you one question. What was it that you said the doctor said that you couldn't be healed in your body?
Oh, the bladder thing,
Oh, all right. Okay.
and so, I had this, the kind of stuff that they had me doing, had limited effects in what they were going to, and the medicine they were recommending me was going to be about $1,000.
Oh,
And then $400 a month, even though I changed insurance. I said, I can't do that. And what you guys have me do every month, I got to do that for the rest of my life. That electric stuff they had me do. I said, I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. So exercising, believe it or not, I heard God say, you need to take your butt and start exercising.
All
So
right.
I started doing certain kind of exercise, and all of a sudden, my bladder is doing much better.
Well, thank God.
Yep.
Thank God. All
Yep.
right.
Yep. So,
All right. Well, thank you, Jesus.
yes. Amen.
I'm gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gone, family.
Goodbye.
yeah.
I hope you can spend that you're not ill the whole time, that you can really enjoy your campsite, as your health continues to get better and better day by day.
Well, thank you, sister.
Where are you?
Where are we? In Ohio.
Oh,
Roy's old state.
there's some good spots in Ohio, from what I understand, looking at the YouTubes.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Okay.
I'm gone, y'all.
All right. Goodbye.
I love y'all. Love
Love
you.
you too.
You guys.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.